Propaganda is a new musical that is a co-production between the Lyric Theatre in Belfast and the Belfast Ensemble, of which I am the artistic director. It was a Lyric Theatre commission that was put on hold because of the pandemic, and this is the first opportunity, really exciting opportunity, to see the finished work on a stage. With a Broadway influenced score and I suppose a love letter to the great American songbook, the entire show is set during the Berlin Airlift, or the Berlin blockade of 1948 and 1949, and really it's the story of two young lovers who are forced to make their living through photography, pornography, and just trying to survive in the ruins of a city that is now under siege, trapped in the first rumblings of the Cold War and the fight between East and West over Berlin. This work is a satirical work. The approach is to do something that is not only a love letter to Broadway, but a love letter to musical theatre comedy. So satire is king with this. There's a Mel Brooks kind of style to the entire construct of dialogue, but also I think in our approach about how we talk about the Cold War, the East, the West, Russia and America. Even though this musical is set in 1949, the modern residences are incredibly important. The reason I became very obsessed with the events of the Berlin blockade was not only because people were trying to survive in a very, very difficult situation on the ground, but that it was the start, real, of the Cold War. It was the first time the East and the West, the Allies, came head to head in a territorial dispute. And that was over the defeated city of Berlin. And the world that we're living in at the minute is a world where the Cold War has started to be talked about again as if it's there. That legacy of the Cold War and of the Soviet Union is something that I don't think that we have felt as sharply as we have since the Ukrainian conflict. So that argument about what is democracy and what is the right of self-determination or occupation by a foreign country, in this case Russia, Ukraine, Russia, Berlin, the West, Berlin, I suppose is as old as this play, or the events in this play. It's been going on since the Berlin blockade. So is the Cold War over? I don't know. From what I can tell on the news, it doesn't seem to be. If people get anything out of this musical, it would be that the events happening today might be a consequence of events that happened in 1949. And everything that happened in 1949 was because of things that happened under Nazi Germany, and that might have been because of everything that happened in Weimar Germany. So there is a circular world in history, and I would love people to engage with contemporary politics as a consequence of historical politics.